This is Jessica. She's 29 years old and she's from Torrington, Wyoming.
It's so busy. Look at all the cars.
If you've never heard of Torrington, Wyoming, it's probably because it's a very small town. I'm talking 5,000 people live in this town. She gives us a tour of the downtown area where there's a lot of unopened offices and businesses, followed by the one Chinese restaurant in the entire town.
I actually don't even know if they are open anymore.
Bad news right out the gate. It turns out that this Chinese restaurant might be closed. So yeah, the poor citizens of Torrington aren't going to be eating orange chicken. She then tells us about the weather in Wyoming. I guess it's gnarly because in the winter it's super cold, and I guess they get 80-mile-an-hour winds and it freezes your ears off. It kind of reminds me of that town from Footloose where they outlawed dancing. Jessica informs the audience that her town is dominated by the cattle industry and there's more cows than people. Funny enough, her town tends to smell on the poopy side because the wind will often blow those cow farts right into town. It seems like a terrible place to live because not only do they have a lack of food options, but it constantly smells like booty in this town.
I am a mental health counselor.
Oh, she's the mental health counselor. So she's who I would be talking to frequently if I lived in this town. Imagine this. You know, it's been a really hard day at work, making fun of people on the internet. I go and get an ice cream cone. Ice cream, you scream, you all scream for ice cream. I love ice cream, right? And as I'm going to take a bite into my pistachio ice cream, oh! Her favorite traveling companion is her best friend Megan, and about 2.5 years ago, they went on a cruise to the Caribbean. Jessica adds that on that cruise, she met the most beautiful man she's ever seen in her entire life, which is what the majority of the women that go on the show say before their relationship fails. Pretty sure that's exactly what Eve said about Muhammad, and we know how that one turned out. This right here is the best looking guy she was referring to. His name is Juan, and he works as a bartender on the cruise ship. Right away, Juan lets the audience know that he's known as the good looking bartender on this boat. Forget about it. He just wants to make sure all you plebs know that people come up to him on this cruise ship and say, wow, you're ridiculously good looking. He's from Cali, Colombia, and he's been bartending on cruise ships for the past 3 years. I didn't know they had a Cali in Colombia, but that's tight. Hella chill. We got a Cali in America too. But guess what? They don't got In-N-Out. My little brother and I are right now trying to perfect Vince Vaughn's laugh from Anchorman. Juan tells the audience that he primarily bartends on vessels that are going to the Caribbean or any tropical location, which is so flex. Juan then says to the audience that something that helps him get more tips while he's bartending is looking ladies in the eye and throwing them the wink like, it seems cap to me. Let me know in the comments if this would ever work on you. Like, do you like when guys wink at you or no? I've never winked at a girl before because I've always thought that that was cringe. Also, does anyone else find it worrisome that the wink worked on the girl that's giving out mental health advice? Jessica says that the first night on the cruise, they were gambling in the casino and Juan immediately caught her attention. She says right away she was captivated by Juan's green eyes and his accent. It's like, that's all it took. Green eyes and an accent, not family values, not personality, you know, what kind of hobbies, what kind of life goals do you have? Just green eyes and accents. Really got her priorities straight.
She was different from any other girl that I have ever met on the cruise. He's on the lip.
Jessica admits that after hitting it off with Juan, they started talking all the time, and after 9 months, she started visiting him in Colombia every month. She says that when Juan wasn't working, she would visit him in Cali, Colombia, and when he was working, she would visit him on the cruise ship wherever he was going, which is a win-win because either way, you're getting a great vacation at a tropical destination. And if we're in her shoes, it's just like, we want to get out of stinky butt town, right? Jessica says something she really likes about Juan is that he supports her dreams and he's really nice to her. About 8 months ago, he proposed to her and she said yes.
But after every single trip, I always have to come back to my small town and get back to reality.
Oh, she's a mother. This changes things quite a bit. These are her children. Their names are Dawson and Dayton. Jessica then informs the audience that she was married to their father for about 2 years, and even though it didn't work out, they co-parent really well together, which is why she's able to pursue this relationship with Juan. So when she says this, I kind of feel bad for her ex-husband because he has to watch the kids in Fart Town. Meanwhile, she's wilding out and going to like all these tropical destinations and probably posting it. That would make me a little heated. While we're on the subject, I don't want to sound like a nosy Nancy, but I would love to know why the relationship didn't work out with the kid's father. You guys know what I mean? Usually on these reality TV shows, they'll just briefly talk about how their relationship in the past didn't work out, but not go into the reason why. But now that I'm thinking about it, if this guy's also from Fart Town and he doesn't have green eyes and an accent, then that makes sense because that's what she's into. Jessica says that Juan and the boys will often talk on the phone, they'll FaceTime, but they've only met in person once. We then see a lot of pictures of the fan band began visiting Juan on one of the cruise ships. However, he didn't get to spend a lot of time with them because he was also working on the cruise ship, so he didn't get a good feel on what it's like to raise two energetic boys. That's how she worded it, was energetic boys.
Juan has some time off next week, and me and the boys are heading to Colombia to see him.
Okay, no wrestling, please.
Let me know what y'all think about Jessica bringing her children to Colombia. I think it could be good for the kids to get a tan, learn Spanish, and develop an appreciation for Fade's music. Now, because Juan hasn't spent that much time with her children, her biggest fear is that if he doesn't like her kids, that could ruin their relationship. While their mom is worried, the boys are big chillin'. They're eating bananas and telling their mom that they have no doubt in their mind that he's gonna like them. Today's the fated day that 29-year-old Jessica is traveling to Colombia with her two children to play house with her one true love, Juan.
Over the last 2.5 years, I've been to Colombia 6 times to see my fiance Juan.
Cutscene over to Juan in Colombia. He says that he's very excited to see Jessica. However, her bringing the kids is going to be a test for their relationship. Right away, I appreciate how honest Juan is about this entire situation. He admits that last time he couldn't dedicate that much time to the boys because he had to work on the cruise ship. However, this time is going to be the first experience living together as a family.
Being a father, I mean, this is like a whole different life for me. Eating with them and actually spending the whole day with them. I feel like I'm ready for
Yo, this is so make or break, because if he doesn't love her children, I could see him walking away from this relationship. And this guy has options. He's young, he's good looking, he works on a cruise line as a bartender. Dude makes good money, lives in Colombia. Meanwhile, this girl has 2 kids from a failed relationship and lives in Fartown. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, but he must really love this girl, especially because he's willing to take over that father role for the children, or at least that's what he's communicated so far. And for the majority of guys, it's like you want your kids to be your blood and look like you. I truly believe it takes a special kind of person to adopt another's children and raise them as their own, so he has my respect right off the bat. Jessica and her boys arrive in Colombia. Juan is there at the airport to greet them. Power walks over to give his woman a kiss and a hug, and then the kids run into his arms, give him a big hug, and it's actually a really cute moment to see. We then see Jessica's best friend Megan. I didn't know she was joining them on the trip. Her and Juan give each other a hug, and I'm assuming Megan's there to watch the children while Juan and Jessica go on dates, which is kind of cheating because the friend's not always going to be there to help out with the kids.
I'm excited to see our bedroom.
Juan's gonna sleep with my mommy.
It's already awkward with them in the car. Funny enough, her other kid was like, I'm gonna sleep with Juan tonight. And if you look at Juan's face, he's just thinking to himself, absolutely not. Instead of Bueller, Juan's thinking military school. Juan the philosopher says, I haven't seen Jess in 2 months, which means I haven't had sex in 2 months, which means I'm needing sex. Juan, I like where your head's at. You know, it's so important for that physical aspect of the relationship, especially when you're doing long distance. I support this decision, and if anything, I feel like this is an appropriate time for him to step up into that dad role and tell these kids what the house rules are. For me, I'd be like, actually, culturally here in Colombia, you're supposed to sleep with your brother, and I sleep with your mommy in the other room, and we make animal noises all night, but we're just having fun. We're just wrestling. So jokes. Juan then communicates to the audience that he doesn't know how he's gonna take off his girl's clothes with the kids constantly around. You know what this makes me think of is that one scene from Eastbound and Down when Will Ferrell's character said, let the boy watch. He's gonna learn like how I learned from my father and how he learned from his father before him.
You're getting the master bedroom, I call it. I call the master bedroom.
No way.
Juan already picked out mine in his bedroom. We already got the master bedroom.
The pair of nuts on this kid calling the master bedroom. Huh. Jessica says to the audience that this is a huge transition for her children, Dayton and Dawson, because this is the first serious relationship that she's been in since their dad. Real quick, her son's names are Dayton and Dawson. If she has a third one, is his name gonna be Daytona?
Juan, can I sleep with you guys?
Not tonight. Definitely, probably not tonight.
Tomorrow?
No, not tomorrow either, Junior. Know your place. Her son starts crying. He's having a moment in the back seat. Her best friend is trying to tell him to look out the window at all the beautiful scenery, and he's like, I don't want to. Jessica says to the audience that she's been to Colombia 6 times, and all those trips were super exciting, filled with fun, intimacy, romance. However, this trip is a little bit different because she has to see if her children are comfortable with taking Juan as a stepdad. She then informs us that Juan, being the zaddy he is, rented a vacation home for them for a week. They pull up to the crib, and it looks like somewhere that Pablo Escobar would have stayed. They have flamingos on the property. They have a jungle gym. They have a badass pool. Whoa. I've never seen a dude on one of these 90 Day Fiancé spin-off shows spend this much money on a girl. Honestly, I don't think I'm alone in that sentiment. Let me know in the comments below if any guy in the history of 90 Day Fiancé or one of the spin-off shows has spent this much money on a girl coming to visit him in his home country. Bam Bam is so hyped to be staying at this home. The kids immediately ask for a soccer ball so that they can play outside. While the kiddos are playing outside, Juan and Jessica have an intimate moment in their bedroom where it is revealed that they're having a kid together. Yay!
How do you think you'll feel with like stepdad life and like new baby life?
No, more love. More love coming. Yeah, I'm just ready.
Good answer.
Okay.
It's sweet, I'm happy for them. Now, it is worth mentioning that Juan is singing a different tune to the audience. Juan says to the audience that he's trying to play it cool in front of Jessica, but this is a huge lifestyle transition for him because he was previously a single guy on a cruise ship, and now he has 3 kids. And as we established earlier, Juan's needing sex, right? So right as he's about to get intimate with his woman in the bed, the kid outside is screaming, "Juan, come out and play with us! Ha ha ha!" The next day, Juan is doing an act of service for the entire family. He's making them breakfast.
I don't like eggs.
You don't like eggs? That's all I have. Eggs.
So Juan, being the gentleman he is, politely asks Dawson if he will try the eggs.
Could you please try them?
Dawson replies no and walks away. Jessica just laughs about her child disrespecting her man that's paying for everything and says to the audience, "Kids are picky eaters and Dawson's the pickiest eater I know. I have experience with this, but for someone that doesn't have experience, it's probably a big deal." Dawson comes back once again to display his pouty behavior for Juan.
Dawson, you don't like them?
Juan then explains to the audience that he had to eat the food he was given as a child or else he wasn't eating. And if he acted the way that Dawson's acted towards an elder, he would have caught a flip-flop to the dome. Sounds to me like me and Juan had a very similar childhood. All the Italian kids know when your grandma whips out that wooden spoon, you're licking the plate. Not like you wouldn't because the food's delicious, but you guys know what I mean.
Juan, can you give me cereal?
How about I give you eggs?
Here's one.
Please.
Can you go and get my cereal?
Our dude Juan's getting no sex and can't even enjoy his breakfast because this kid's a picky eater. This couple's in dire need of a serious conversation about how they're gonna co-parent because this right here wouldn't work for the majority of dudes. There's a plethora of different parenting methods. However, in every household, there should be a hierarchy with the parents at the top and you should raise your kids with discipline. Otherwise, you raise brats. Kid doesn't say please when he's asking. Jessica gives Juan the look like, "Are you gonna go make my kid cereal?" So Juan steps away from his breakfast to go get him cereal. He comes back with cereal and soon discovers that Dawson doesn't take his cereal with milk.
What?
Dawson doesn't like milk in his cereal.
He likes it dry.
But here in Cameo with cereal with milk. Shall I bring another pot with cereal?
Dry.
This right here is a ticking time bomb, and to make matters worse, Jessica didn't even tell Juan that her entire town smells like poop.
So we've been together like all these years and you're telling me this now?
About the cow
About this poop and smell?
What's baffling to me as an audience member is that after all these years of talking to this girl, he wasn't aware that her entire town smelled like poop.
What else should I know about Torrington?
We got 100 million flies at Torrington.
Swerve, 100 million flies in this town. That's like something out of the Bible. That reminds me of when God plague bombed Egypt. I'm gonna keep you all updated as new episodes come out about this couple. We have new merch available in our Your Wet store, so be sure to check that out when you have time. If you want one-on-one time with me, please order Cameo. I'm the #1 Cameo creator in the entire world. Super thankful y'all watch my videos. Comment below, subscribe, let your friend, follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.